Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Undrafted Experts. And today we're going to be talking about the wonderful division that is the NFC South.
Fucking sucks.
It consists of the Bucks, Falcons, Saints, and Panthers. And let's go ahead and start off with the Buccaneers. Zach, take it away.
All right, so week 1, we already have the Bucks winning against the Cowboys on the road. I'm pretty sure our reasoning was that the Cowboys just never win at home or struggle at home.
Especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, they tend to do that. Well, they do that anywhere, but now that we've pissed off a lot of people already who weren't even here to get attacked today.
Yeah, I know. Thanks a lot.
Let's go ahead and move on to week 2.
On to week 2, we have the Bucks on the road versus the Saints.
Is this a primetime game?
Let me check. No, it is not. 1 p.m.
It doesn't matter.
Fuck.
I don't care. The Saints
Fuck.
win.
No, fuck you. Bucks win.
I think the Bucks win. Very
Well,
tight. Bucks win.
I was
When
thinking,
did the Bucks beat the Saints in the regular season?
I was about to say I'm thinking Saints here, so we got a bit of a draw
Doesn't
here.
matter when they beat them in the fucking playoffs and they won the Super Bowl. Bozo.
I don't know.
But these are
Well,
regular season predictions.
what you guys do need to remember, though, is the fact that Chris Godwin will more than likely not be a part of the team for this game. So you've really only got you've basically got
is a good sub.
Brady, Mike Evans, and Russell Gage and Cameron Brate. That's
Which is
still,
not an awful receiving core.
it's not awful.
Even then, they got playoff Lenny, bro. He's
I
pretty
would
good.
also like to point out that the fucking Saints defense has been gutted a little bit.
And remember, the Saints aren't gonna start off at full power either. They're gonna have Mike Thomas. He's not gonna be playing.
Slant
early
boy.
on. But it's gonna be an interesting matchup for sure. But I still give it to the Bucks. I mean, considering that they have the better quarterback, that's it.
I don't know. I personally think Saints. I mean, if Jameis Winston continues to build on what he had last season before his injury, he could very well be one of those shocking quarterbacks if he gets to play a full season. Especially,
I think Jameis Winston, if he plays a full season, can be an MVP candidate,
he could,
or at least in the talks.
he could, yeah, he could be at least in conversation. I mean, if Michael Thomas ever comes back, then you're looking at a receiver room of Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, and Chris Olave. That's pretty fucking good, in my opinion.
Not even that. Like, look at the players that they already had the foundation. I mean, Callaway was pretty good. What's the other guy's name? The Traquan
Smith.
Yeah, they're pretty solid. You know, not like enough to get you to a Super Bowl, but they're pretty good. Like, I'm pretty sure that the Saints are confident with what they have. So
Yeah.
I just give it the edge out to the experienced team, which is the Bucks. That's it.
We give it to the Bucks.
I'm still sticking with the Saints because the biggest
I think-
the biggest advantage for the Saints over the Bucks was always the fact that their defense just shut Brady down, and their defensive coordinator has not left the building. He's just been
No.
promoted. So I don't think that anything's going to change. I think that they're going to keep.
But didn't they lose quite a number of defensive players this offseason?
I mean, they lost.
Yes, but
They added Honey
They lost
Badger.
Marcus Williams, but they brought in Honey Badger. They brought in Marcus May. I mean, that pretty much completely overhauls the safeties right then and there. You still have Marshawn Lattimore. Paulson Adebo is listed as a starter.
Johnson.
Yeah, Garner Johnson's there. And the front seven still is not that bad either when you think about it. Cam Jordan
and Demario Davis, bro, you're good.
I'm still giving the edge to the Saints, but if we're at a standstill, I guess I could give it to the Bucks, even though I believe the Saints will win this.
I'm actually gonna change my answer to the Saints here.
Okay.
Well, I guess I'm outnumbered, so
yeah, that settles that. They're gonna be two really good teams. I mean, we got more time to discuss the Saints later, but I think they're gonna be neck and neck here for the NFC South Division Championship.
I think Saints and Bucks are gonna split the series.
Yeah, 100%. Then we're on to week 3. Bucks get their first home game against the Packers.
I got the Packers winning this.
I
I
I
get
got
the
the
Taking the
Bucks.
Bucks.
I'm not too sure how I
I get the-
feel.
I get the feeling that the Packers are going to come firing on full cylinders this year.
I get the exact opposite feeling.
I'm actually
Rodgers just got his money, and that's really what he wanted. So
And you lose a lot
it's-
of players because
Yeah.
of that
you
contract.
lost.
You
I'm gonna
lost
say you
Darius
lost all
Smith.
of your. Well, not all of your receivers, but you lost the main one in Devonte Adams,
But they brought in
and you
Christian
lost
Watson.
MVS. You do have Christian Watson, but that actually
Christian
kind
Watson
of
is gonna
leads
be a
me
rookie
towards the
wide receiver.
Bucks, because not only is it a rookie receiver, it's going to take some time for him and Aaron Rodgers to develop chemistry if they have chemistry. So I'm leaning Bucks, especially at home.
I'm outnumbered.
So that decides that one. This is a really tough schedule first 4 weeks. Because then you're still at home, but now you have the Chiefs coming in.
I get the Bucks with this.
I still got the Bucks. I think because the Chiefs lost too much on offense. Or I mean, they lost Tyreek Hill, but that's
It's a big
Patrick
portion of their
Mahomes.
offense.
Yeah, it's like fuck it, Tyreek got to be down there somewhere. But I do think going back to what I said, I have the Bucks through and through for this one. Better team.
Tim, how are you feeling about it? Because I don't really know how I want to sway on this one.
I still think that the Chiefs' offense is going to be pretty high-powered. So, and I just don't think that the Bucks have the greatest secondary. The Chiefs don't rely a lot on their run game anyway.
Well, to be
The
fair,
Chiefs did,
last year,
the Chiefs did not lose their number one wide receiver. Sorry,
This
wasn't
is still
Tyreek
the
Hill.
same core that beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Just saying.
For the most part.
and also last year, the Buccaneers secondary was injured to hell and back. Every season, their secondary is injured to hell and back.
I think I'm gonna give this one to the Bucks. It's gonna be close. Don't get me wrong, but same reason that I'm picking the Bucks against the Packers. I think Mahomes is gonna need a bit of time to adjust to not having Tyreek Hill. I think it is going to make a decent enough impact. Maybe not a ton, but it will make an impact on Mahomes' performance early on. Now we move on to Week 5. Is this really a discussion here? This is Bucks.
No, the fucking Falcons suck.
The
Falcons are ass.
The
I'm gonna
Falcons
give it to the
are.
Bucks.
They've got a long road ahead of them in terms of rebuilding. So
They've got an even longer season ahead of them.
yeah.
God, they do.
And then you've got Week 6. Bucks go on the road against the Steelers. This
I would
one
like to
to me,
apologize, Zach.
I think
but
this
it
is
goes
the
to the
Bucks.
Bucks.
This is the Bucks. The Steelers secondary is not going to be able to slow down Brady. They historically haven't been able to, and this is really not a strong season for the Steelers secondary. So
This
should be a Brady masterclass, in my opinion.
in my opinion, the Steelers are in a second-year rebuild.
Yeah, we're still in the midst of figuring things out. I think like I said, I've said it many times. I think we'll be better than what a lot of people expect us to be.
They're on the right
But-
track.
But that's for a later day.
We're still a few years away, yeah. So moving on to Week 7, Bucks on the road versus Carolina. Similar situation to the Falcons. In need
They
of
suck.
in the middle of a rebuild, actually. So,
Basically, the first year of their rebuild.
I would say second, but
Nah.
it's close.
I'm saying it's basically their first year.
Yeah, it's something like that. I don't know. Then we move on to Week 8 here.
Thursday
Bucks on Thursday Night Football. Bucks at home versus the Ravens. I'm leaning Bucks.
I'm leaving Ravens
I'm
here.
gonna go with the Ravens.
Tim?
So gonna take the Ravens.
All right, I'm
I
outnumbered.
think the Ravens
it
are gonna
is.
go on a healthy tear this year.
I can see it. I honestly think they would have gone on a tear this year last year had they been healthy. But
My
Yeah,
point.
had they
now
not
they've
been in the
gotten
fucking
now they've
hospital.
gotten even better.
Lamar's gonna do
so
Lamar things. I
I
also
can see that
think
happening.
that I feel like that Ravens defense is he's gonna do just enough to contain Brady, especially since the Bucks are gonna have Chris Godwin or maybe
like-
they will.
I think at that
I
point,
don't know
Chris
what the
Godwin's going to
timeline-
be close. I think it's somewhere around. I think he's going to come back somewhere around their bye week. Is what I'm
So-
thinking.
For me, the biggest question for the Ravens is the wide receiver core.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. They're gonna
Really
have to really
have
figure that
less-
out.
I actually have less reservations about them than most people do, but that's for another video. So
Yeah,
Yep.
we're
let's go to the next
AFC
week.
North coming soon.
Eventually.
Yeah, well, we're waiting on a specific thing. I think we all know what that is.
Cool.
Week
In
9,
the process.
Bucks
I got
at home
the Rams
versus
winning.
the Rams. I'm also going Rams. I mean,
Rams did not lose that many players this offseason.
they retained basically everything but Von Miller, as far as I can remember, and got
Sebastian,
Allen
Joseph
Robinson
Day,
in.
OBJ, but I do think that
I think
Allen
they're gonna bring
Robinson
back
can
O-
replace OBJ.
I'm
think
still
Allen
thinking they
Robinson's
might bring
better than
back
OBJ.
OBJ. I think
Guys,
they're
They
just
might- they
waiting.
might, but I don't
They
think that
brought
he'll
in
be back
Bobby
by then.
Wagner.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
that. So I think this is Rams. I think
Yeah, they're the defending Super Bowl
they're,
champions.
yeah, defending Super Bowl champs, and I wouldn't even say like I mean, yes, losing Von Miller's big, but they built
It's
up
not
that
that
team
big.
even more. No,
Got
it's not even
Bobby
that. I
fucking
wouldn't say that
Wagner.
it's not a big thing. It's that they made other positions much better.
Much
So,
better.
It kind
Not
of
even that.
balances out, and
They
plus
brought
you still
back-
have Aaron Donald. So
They brought back
Aaron
Troy
Donald
Hill.
can be your main
Troy Hill.
rusher.
They traded back for Troy Hill from the Browns. He was a player that's familiar with their system in the secondary. So
Mhm.
I expect him to be somewhat decent again.
Yeah, I don't see him struggling to fit right back in. But
And then here the Buccaneers finally win a game after a 2-game loss streak.
yeah, two home game losses, but they will get one win before going back on the road here
Very
versus the
easy.
Seahawks.
Yep.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
that's easy
it's-
dub.
And it's gonna hurt Johnny, I know, but you're kind of in the same spot that you're in the same spot that
Unless
I
we get
was
Baker.
a year or two ago. If you
We
get Baker, it
this
could.
game is
If you get
competitive.
Baker, it's competitive, but I'm still going Bucks.
Yeah.
So that's not changing. But I will say, you guys get Baker, it's at least a little better. Then you have the Week 11 bye. And I would assume, of course, things could change. I would assume by this point, Chris Godwin's either back or about to return. So I'm going to consider it that he's back from this point on. Obviously, we don't know. But moving
Honestly,
on to...
I think in the second half of the season they're gonna go on a tear. They're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
beat the Browns.
they're going
the
to
Saints,
smoke the
the
Browns.
49ers.
I mean, the Bucks. I mean, as long as you got Tom Brady, you've got a fighting chance. That's all I can say.
I think the
Yeah.
Saints win this.
No,
No,
they're
Bucks-
splitting.
yeah.
Bucks are
Yeah, yeah,
taking
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And
It
it's
Sorry.
doesn't
not...
shock me. It'll never shock me if the Saints beat the Bucks.
Yeah, no, it
but
won't.
I
But
think that they're going to catch fire here in the second half of the season. I think they're going to beat the 49ers next.
yeah, I think they take the Niners.
Look, not to
we
get
don't know.
not to get too much into advanced stats or anything like that, but the reason why I have the Bucks having like a really slow start on this year is because Chris Godwin, he needs to be given more credit. He's a really good wide receiver. He
Oh,
can be
yeah.
a wide receiver one on many teams. The only thing is, Russell Gage has a big question mark in my eyes because he's never had more than 4 touchdowns in a season.
Well,
Could this be
touchdowns
the
don't
year?
really mean
Probably.
everything.
I don't
We
think that's
know.
what he has to do for the Bucks, though.
I think if
He
he
just needs
just
yards.
gives,
They
yeah, if
have
he just,
Cameron Brate. They have. No, they lost O.J. Howard. My apologies.
They got
They have
Lenny.
Cameron Brate, who's a big target in the end zone. Same with Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin can still move in short space.
Yeah, but
I'm
And-
not
and
that
these guys
afraid
go-
of
Tim,
Russell
Tim,
Gage being a
don't-
slot receiver.
Don't
but
forget
to
Lenny.
start off the season.
Yeah.
yeah, Lenny out the back.
Did they retain Ronald Jones or did Ronald Jones leave?
Ronald Jones is not on the team. I'm not sure where he is actually.
If he's still a free agent, then
I want to say he signed somewhere, but I'm not entirely sure at the moment. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know Chris Godwin's gonna have a major effect here, but something's telling me that the Bucks are
Drop a
still
game to the
going to.
Bengals.
I still think the Bucks will do well out the gate, and then yeah, I do think the Bengals take this. at
Yeah,
some
Yeah,
Bengals
the
point.
win.
Bengals. They're
Yes.
the runner-ups in the Super Bowl. They have a lot of talent still. They got better. I definitely do see them winning.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got
I
them winning the rest of the
yeah, I
season.
think they're gonna win out
Yeah,
from
I
this
think
point.
that. Yeah, I do agree on that because the Cardinals. Well, it's the second half of the season.
It's Cliff
They
Kingsbury.
crumble. I don't get it, but it just happens.
It's Cliff Kingsbury.
I guess. Then week 17, you've got Panthers. Same deal.
They
We said it
suck.
earlier.
That's
They're-
self-explanatory.
we'll discuss it more later, but Panthers
Yeah.
and Falcons have a lot of work to go. So I think the Bucks waltz right on into the playoffs on a
Very
3-game
easily.
win streak. At 13-4. I mean,
That's still very impressive.
I could easily see the Chiefs taking the game in week 4. I could see the Saints sweeping them.
I can
Other
see
than
10 and
that-
7.
I think their floor is somewhere around 9-8, and we've got them about at their ceiling, maybe 14-3. But
It'll depend on the Saints game
Yeah.
and week 2.
I think somewhere in between 9 to 14 wins is what you're looking at for the Bucks this year.
It could also depend on the Ravens game if the Ravens are fucking
Yeah,
injured to hell
Ravens
and
could
back again.
fall. Yeah, Ravens could fall apart again. I mean, you never know. That's why you make the predictions at the start of the season, and
So you can be wrong.
you can be wrong,
To
but
be fair, I
sometimes you
guess
make it
Super
lucky.
Bowl winner last year, so.
You did.
Shut up, Sam.
we know.
But I mean, I predicted it too, so fuck you.
Yeah, you
I
stole
don't
it
think
from me.
I know.
That's
I
for another
didn't.
day.
But,
But that's for another day.
yep. On to the Saints. Week 1 here on the road versus the Falcons.
W.
Don't think we got to talk here too much. We already discussed heavily Saints versus Bucks. Then we move on to week 3 here. Saints should easily take this versus the Panthers.
W.
Week 4, I also believe.
W.
Actually,
I got W.
I feel like this could be one of those
think
games
it's
that
bigger.
surprises people. I feel like this may
Is
be
it
one of the ones.
is this a primetime game?
No, it's a London game. Or
I
it's
think
or maybe
Minnesota-
it's,
I
if it's
think
not a
Minnesota
London
wins.
game, it's somewhere not here because it's 9:30 in the morning.
I think
That's the Mexico game.
No, Mexico wouldn't be that early.
Oh, that
I
might
think-
be the Munich game then.
It
no,
may
that's the one
be.
versus the Seahawks.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the
No.
one versus the Seahawks they play in Germany.
But I don't know. I'm kind of leaning
Oh,
Vikings
wait, no,
here
I'm
for
thinking
some
about
odd
the Bucks.
reason.
My bad. Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Vikings too. I think we see a what's his name, Dalvin Cook masterclass and Justin Jefferson.
I'm thinking it's more Justin Jefferson than anything, and this could be one of those games that Jameis Winston just looks completely out of it. I've got that feeling for some reason that he's just gonna have one of those weird games that we saw last year, where he's either really good, and then there's that 1 or 2 weeks that he was just complete
Struggling.
garbage.
Moving on, so this is not a long video.
Yeah, we've already talked a lot, so we can kind of start to move here. Week
Saints
5,
take-
Saints at home versus the Seahawks. This should be a win.
I give it to the Saints.
Week 6, Bengals coming
Bengals.
into New Orleans. This is not
Bengals.
prime time.
Statement game.
It could be flexed.
This
Nah.
probably will get. This should get flexed, I would think. But I'm gonna go
Yep.
Saints, but I can understand Bengals if you guys are thinking that.
Bengals.
Wow, it's very funny how over the course of the year they went from the Bungles to the Bengals. They got
Yeah,
their
they
name.
actually got their name back.
Well, they're not buns anymore, so.
Yeah. I don't know. You know what? I'll give it to the Bengals. It'd be an interesting one to say the least.
Is Tim alive?
I have
Yeah.
no idea. Okay.
Yeah.
Week 7, Saints on the road versus the Cardinals. This is
I
before
got
Week
Cardinals.
8, so I'm actually thinking Cardinals here.
I'm thinking Saints.
I'm gonna go with the Cardinals.
All right. I mean, it's early enough in the season that I think the Cardinals will
I'm
still
just
be
saying
doing
because
something. And plus,
we still don't know that much of the
this
Kamara situation, so we don't know if Kamara will still be.
he's expected to face 6-game suspension.
Yep.
And of course, DeAndre Hopkins, coincidentally, is also facing a
Oh,
6-game
yeah, that is
suspension. So
fucking
this is
true.
his return game.
Same with Kamara.
Yeah, same with Kamara, actually. So convenient that it was already on Thursday Night Football. Week 8, Saints at home versus the Raiders.
Oh, I give it to the Raiders.
I'm gonna give
Raiders.
it to the Raiders.
all
The
right,
Raiders are gonna
Raiders
come
it is.
firing on all cylinders right there. But that's gonna be a really good game.
Yeah, that should be another one of those ones
Not to discredit
that
the
one should get
Saints, and
flex.
if you're a Saints fan, I just think that all the talent that the Raiders have is gonna be overwhelming at some point. Especially once the season like sets in, you know, you're gonna have some fatigue and stuff like that.
Yeah. Week 9, Monday Night Football. Saints at home versus the Ravens.
Ravens.
The Ravens, easy.
Fortunately, it's the Saints on Monday night.
It's Saints on
It's
Monday
not a
night.
good idea to bet against the Saints on Monday night.
It really
That was
isn't.
when they had Drew Brees.
That's fair.
I mean, I don't know. It still kind of happens anyway. I want to give it to the Saints, but if y'all want to give it to the Ravens, that's fine.
I'm gonna give it to the Ravens.
All right, that's fine. Week 10, Saints on the road versus the Steelers. I'll be honest with you.
I think the Steelers can pull this out.
I think this is the Steelers, because one thing we haven't talked about yet is the Saints lost, I can't think of his name now. The left tackle who's now on the Dolphins.
Armstead,
yes, Teron Armstead. So this could be one of the games that the Steelers front seven just eats. I could definitely see that happening. So I'm personally leaning Steelers. It's up to y'all if y'all want to agree.
I'm going with the Steelers.
The Saints. You guys are way underestimating the Saints in all of these games. They did incredible without a quarterback last year and without a coaching staff. And I know they lost like a few guys, but really, they're gonna.
Teron Armstead is more than just a few guys.
The offensive line is the most important position.
I mean, I understand the rest of the O-line is quality, if not elite, at some positions like Ramczyk, but
you got Andreas Pete, you got
Eric McCoy, Ruiz. Like, I get that it's a good O-line still. I just feel the Steelers, and maybe it's my bias coming through. I could totally understand
I can definitely see the Steelers pulling it out. I just feel like it's gonna be a very close game. You know, it's gonna come down to like fourth quarter drive. I don't know.
I don't know.
I got Saints, especially with the Steelers. Especially with the Steelers coming off a bye week.
That is fair. Fine, I'll do
it. I mean, there's no. I'm not trying to no disrespect for the Steelers, but I think the Saints are just a better team.
It's something about the Steelers with the bye week. I don't get it.
And especially with the Saints coming off of a 3-game lose streak.
Yeah, at some point they're gonna be angry.
Yeah, Jameis is gonna want to eat a W.
He gonna be hungry for some W's. Week 11, Saints at home versus the Rams. I'm thinking Rams.
Rams.
It's not prime time.
It's while I like the Saints are a decent enough team. The Rams are just leaps and bounds ahead.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with the Rams. They're just they're miles better.
With the Rams.
The Rams are the Rams.
Yeah,
it's gonna take. This is not me wishing injury on anyone, but it will probably take some key injuries for them not to be
amazing.
Either in the Super Bowl or at least back in the conference championship game this year, in my opinion. Then we're at week 12. Saints on the road versus the 49ers. I'm leaning Saints.
I'm gonna give it to the Saints.
I give it to the Saints
49ers.
because, and for me, it depends on. They should be starting Trey Lance by this point, but at the same
they're
time,
expected to move on from Jimmy G.
at the same
So-
time, I still think the Saints are gonna do better because of the fact that not Jimmy G, but Trey Lance isn't experienced enough.
Yeah, this is this is going to be a very big question mark year for the 49ers. We'll discuss them in a few weeks. But it's going to be a big question mark year for them because we really don't know what to expect from Trey Lance. We're hoping for good things, but can we really expect good things at the start?
Honestly, this could be
I'm
a bit of
gonna
a
put
question mark
this-
year for the Saints as well.
It could be. I mean, these are two teams that are either going to do really well or we're going to be really disappointed.
They're either gonna do really well or they're gonna shit the bed.
Basically, yeah. That's the way I feel about it, at least. Then week 13 on Monday Night Football, we had the Bucks beating not the Rams, the Saints. Then they go on their bye week. And in week 15, at home versus the Falcons, I don't really think we gotta talk again. Unless this is a trap game for some odd reason.
There's
I
always a
don't
trap
believe it.
game, and I don't know. I just don't think
It-
the Falcons are gonna be
I
that
don't
good.
think they're gonna do it, no. Especially not with the Saints at home, with how we're expecting them to do pretty well. There should be a lot of Saints fans in attendance. So, I don't see that being a big problem. Then we have Christmas Eve game.
This is the trap
Saints-
game.
Saints on the road versus the Browns, and I could kind of see it. We do not expect Watson to be playing because he's expected to get at minimum a year suspension at this point.
At minimum.
So,
That's
If
even
day
if there
one just
is.
started.
I mean, they're doing the trials, or not trials. Or is it the trial, or is it?
Yes, it's the
That's what it is.
The
investigation.
NFL's equivalent
Yeah,
of a
the
trial.
NFL's trial basically. They're doing that as we record, so we don't have official information. If it has come out by the time this video comes out.
This is day one, so
Yeah, we just finished day one, so I'm still expecting him not to be playing, so I'm going based off either Jacoby Brissett or by some miracle they convince Baker to play. So
yeah, if he doesn't get traded.
I think I'm still gonna say Saints here, just because I don't see. I don't know if I could see that Browns team pulling it off without a true starting quarterback. Not saying Brissett's bad, but compared to Watson or even Baker, I would say he's definitely below both.
I think it's a trap game.
It's up to you guys. I mean, I'll kind of lean however you guys are thinking here.
I'm gonna go
Saints.
Saints.
It's prime time.
No, it's not.
You just said Christmas.
Yeah, it's a Christmas Eve game, but it's at 1 p.m.
Doesn't matter. Close enough to prime time.
So you're saying Saints?
Yep.
All right, Saints it is. Then we have week 17. We have the Saints beating the Eagles. And then week 18,
It's the Panthers.
Saints at home versus the Panthers. Take this one. Unless Matt Corral comes in mid-year and starts shocking people.
For real though.
Which I guess is technically possible. But I'm not going to put much stock in that. So I think Saints take this. And then that puts the Saints at 10-7, which
Realistic.
is
think
that's
their
pretty fair. Their floor is probably.
underestimating the Saints.
I think their
This was
floor.
this was pretty much them at their floor last year. This was pretty much them at their at their floor last year. They couldn't have had anything more go wrong.
You lose
I
your
mean-
best. You lose your quarterback.
I mean, I get why you're saying that, but at the same time, we do have to remember Kamara isn't going to be there. I get Mark Ingram's a good running back, but I don't know how
Marquise
much
Brown
that's
is
going to
a
really
Saints
affect him.
running back. That's the thing. He's not a good running back. Well, he is a decent running back, but he's a Saints running back. He knows the system. They brought him back for a reason, and he's going to perform well as long as they infuse some kind of young talent behind him.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
It'll
like
be
he's not gonna be like crazy numbers good, but he'll be like he'll do his
he won't
job
be bad either. Like he'll do what he needs to.
exactly.
I don't know. The Saints do intrigue me. I do think they're a team that could shock a lot of people in a way, even though they did perform well last year, even in spite of all the shit that happened to them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think 10-7. It's a bit of a lower one. I think their ceiling's probably 13 wins. Floor is probably somewhere around 8 or 9. We've got them closer to the floor, but they could easily win some of these games that we are predicting them to lose, like the Vikings, for example. I could easily see the Saints taking that. But anyway, moving on to the two
Two of the worst.
well,
The two teams that will be fighting for the number 1 pick.
simply not good teams. Gonna move on to the Panthers first. Week 1 at home versus the Browns. I think the Browns take this. The run game's just gonna be
Oh yeah,
pretty
easily.
good. I mean, you did bring in Ioannidis. You do have Brian Burns, Derek Brown, but the Browns O-line is still pretty good.
And I mean, also the Panthers will find a way to fuck it up.
Yeah, you're still projected to be starting Sam Darnold, so that pretty much tells me all I need to know. But I'm gonna go Browns here. I think that one's not the hardest decision to make here. Then in week 2, we have the Giants beating the Panthers on the road. I could see this flipping. I could, but these are, once again, this is one of those games you'd catch it on Red Zone, be like, oh, that game's happening.
I just think that the Giants are a little bit better.
I do agree. I think they're in a better situation. If that makes
better.
any sense.
The coach better.
I would like
Yeah.
to point out something.
Hmm.
Sam Darnold was not terrible at the beginning of the season last year.
Yeah, but he had the easiest schedule.
But then it went to complete shit after that point. So I don't have any reason to fall for the 3 weeks of greatness that came from Sam Darnold and start to believe that he's good.
That's all I want to point out.
A lot of people started to fall for it last year, and then we saw how it went. So I'm not going to be the one to fall for that. If I turn out to be wrong, then so be it. Week 3, we just discussed this. We had the Saints beating the Panthers at home. And now we move on to week 4. Panthers at home versus the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals take this. I don't really think there's going to be that much of an issue here.
No. The Saints are going to have a rough time this year.
You mean the Panthers?
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? I'm tired.
I can tell. Week 5. Panthers again at home, this time versus the 49ers. I think this is the 49ers. I think this is going to be one of those games that Trey Lance really needs to build some confidence, assuming he is the starter. I think this will be a big confidence boost for him to get what... I won't say it'll be an easy win.
Even then,
but
if it's not a confidence booster, it's going to definitely be like a... What's it called? You're going to be able to get some experience.
Yeah, it's experience nonetheless, yeah. Week 6, Panthers on the road versus the Rams. This is the Rams.
Easily.
This is gonna be one of those games that you'll see and go, oh, that should be like 38-0. And then it'll turn out to be like 54-0.
We're freaking
And
yeah.
it's gonna be one of those games that you're gonna look at the score afterwards, and be like, oh my god. Week 7, we discussed this earlier. We have the Bucks beating the Panthers at home. I do need to scroll down. Week 8, Panthers on the road versus the Falcons. I'm actually gonna give this one to the Falcons. I think they split.
And
Yeah.
I mean,
With the team at home winning both matchups.
and Marcus
Yeah.
Mariota is significantly better than Sam Darnold.
I don't know about significantly, but should be is the better way to phrase it. I'm not sure I can say significantly.
Significantly better.
Okay, well, we're gonna say it anyway.
You don't have to say it, but from what we've seen from Marcus Mariota, he's a much better quarterback than Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Bryce, he's still better, but I don't know by how much. I haven't seen him play in, well, a long time. So, we'll have to see a bit of Marcus Mariota before I can really start to say anything about him. Then week 9, Panthers on the road versus the Bengals. They're just gonna get killed. There's not much else to say about it.
No,
They're gonna get killed. Week 10, Panthers at home versus the Falcons. We just talked about it. They'll split. The home team will take it, and then that'll be like the one moment of, hey, we're not complete garbage. And then they go into week 11 and get absolutely obliterated by the Ravens.
And
it's just, and like that, the confidence will deflate like a balloon.
And it will disappear.
And then week 12, at home versus the Broncos. They're just going to get killed again.
I feel bad for the Panthers this year.
Yeah, the Broncos win.
All right,
Broncos country.
Glad I can cut that for a moment. I had to cough. Then week 13, they go on their bye week. They lose the bye week.
Yep.
100-0. Then week 14, we have one of the tank bowls of the season. We have the Panthers on the road versus the Seahawks.
Seahawks win.
I think Seahawks should take it, yeah.
Probably. Will they, though?
I don't know. Maybe
Seahawks are gonna win.
Maybe this will be the tie game of the year.
This one doesn't radiate tie energy.
No,
I'm sorry. There's just aura you feel when you look at a game between the Jaguars and the Browns, and you're just yeah, this game could be a tie. This game should be a tie.
Yeah.
The Seahawks win this. Not by a large margin, but they win.
Yeah. Then week 15, Panthers at home versus the Steelers.
I give it to the
Steelers should take this. I mean, then again, this could be a tie game too. I've got that weird feeling like last year when we tied to the Lions, who were struggling. I've got that weird feeling it'll happen this time around.
The Lions like that.
They were struggling at that point, Tim. I don't think they had a win at that point. I had to deal with the embarrassment for weeks. Then week 16, Panthers at home. I think this is a Christmas Eve game too. It is. Is Christmas Eve? No, it's on a Saturday. I guess they move all the games from Sunday to Saturday. I didn't realize that when I looked at the schedule.
Oh, I think this is just later in the season that thing that they do.
Well, it's also because Sunday would be Christmas Day.
And after college football season is over, they
really couldn't care less.
Scheduling that they no longer have that scheduling problem, so they'll put it.
I'll have to look at it after the video because I'm actually kind of intrigued by that. But week 16, like we said, Panthers at home versus the Lions. This is the Lions. I mean, I think we discussed this in an earlier video. By the way, check them out. Some will be showing up in the top right.
Most definitely.
But I think the Lions will be much better in terms of record this year.
The Lions were the best worst team last year.
They were. And I mean, this is not to say Jared Goff's going to be something like amazing. Obviously, we'll discuss this more in the future. But it's not to say Jared Goff's going to be amazing, but I think with a much better team around him, he won't do as bad. He'll have something to work with this go around. And then, of course, we had the Panthers losing out to the Bucks and the Saints on the road. And I'm pretty sure we just got ourselves a new lowest record. 1-16 for the Panthers. I mean, it's such a tough schedule, and you don't have the team
we're not
to
trying
deal
to
with
shit on the
this.
Panthers.
Yeah, we're not.
They
Like, I
They
understand.
made a terrible
just-
coaching choice, and now they're paying the price for it. And at the time, they may not have known that it was a terrible coaching choice, but they made it, and they haven't moved on because they're too cheap to buy their coach out. So now they're paying the consequences for it.
And this is not to be like disrespectful to some of the great players on the team. You know, Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore. I would say Ikwanu
DJ Moore.
I would say Ikwanu, the rookie tackle, if he turns out to be good. You know, Bradley Bozeman at center, I like. Corbett at guard is pretty good. Obviously, you got mentioned earlier Brian Burns, Derek Brown, Ioannidis.
Wait, they upgraded their offensive line?
They did, but I still don't. There's still such an issue at quarterback that unless Matt Corral comes in and shocks the world, I don't know if it'll make an insane difference. Like maybe Chuba Hubbard and McCaffrey win you some games, but I don't know if I could give it to you. So it's going to be a real rough season. I do think you guys have the potential to win a couple games. Like, we've got you basically at your floor. I don't think it can get much worse than this. But, I mean, I would say the ceiling this year is, 7 wins? I would think somewhere
I give it
around
4.
there. No, I think that could be around the 6 to 7 range. If McCaffrey returns to 2019 form, I feel like he wins you 2 or 3 games just because of that. And then if Matt Corral shocks you, or if Sam Darnold has some random game where he's just actually showing some talent, that'll get you a win. I can see a world where they do better, but at the moment I can't give many games to you guys. You're gonna need a lot of luck and a lot of prayers to make it through this season, to say the least. But hey, if you perform badly this year, the 2023 class has a ton of quarterbacks. Take one.
Even though you just grabbed Matt Corral, but this was a very weak quarterback class.
Matt Corral, I don't know if he's going to be much of anything in the NFL. He could be.
Even
could
though
shock me, but
at the beginning of last year, you were like, he's going to be a top 5 pick.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, that was when I looked at it, and he in the offense, he was looking pretty good, and then once you watched a few more games, you realize it was a heavy RPO offense. Same with Sam Howell, which is why they fell pretty heavily. Same with Malik Willis. So that hurt them a lot. I mean, teams want quarterbacks who start in pro-style offenses or something.
Yeah.
That's easier to translate. But anyway, that's a discussion for another day. Moving on to the Falcons. The final team of the list here, I mean, they're pretty clearly in rebuild mode as well. They've got solid pieces. I mean, you have Drake London, who you just drafted. You have Kyle Pitts. Chris Lindstrom is a pretty solid right guard. Grady Jarrett's at your edge spot. You brought in Arnold Ebiketie, I think is how you say his name, to be the weak side linebacker. Got Deion Jones, Rashawn Evans, AJ Terrell at corner. Brought in Casey Hayward. That'll be a solid signing. And then, of course, your safeties are just not there. They just
I don't know who
aren't.
they are.
They are Eric Harris and Dean Marlowe are the listed starters. They do
Oh
have
my God, Eric.
They do have Richie Grant down the depth chart at strong safety. I believe he was a rookie this year or in this most recent draft. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting year. So let's go ahead and get rolling here. We already had the Saints beating you guys week 1. Week 2 on the road versus the Rams.
Oh,
Rams.
Just absolutely run away with this. This could be a game where AJ Terrell shines a bit, but the Rams are just overall much better. Week 3, first tank bowl of the year, baby. We've got the Falcons on the road versus the Seahawks.
Seahawks take
I
the
think
dub.
Seahawks take this.
Seahawks.
I think the Falcons win.
I could see the.
Yeah.
I could
Fuck
definitely.
you.
I could actually see the Falcons taking this just based off AJ Terrell.
No, I think the Falcons are criminally underrated. I'm gonna be honest. The Falcons are acted as one of the worst teams in the league. I just think that they're above that tier of Panthers,
I
Jags,
can understand that.
Bears.
Hey,
Seahawks still have way more
talent
I
talent
like
across the
Mariota
roster.
enough to not win every. I like Mariota enough. He's not gonna win you every game, but he's not gonna lose you every game. You have Kyle Pitts. You have Drake London. Both of which are gonna perform well. Pitts is gonna catch more touchdowns because Mariota's gonna target him.
The
in the end
Seahawks have the
zone.
best safety duo in
Cordell
the league.
Patterson's not bad. Okay.
You think they're gonna let up?
You know what?
Hell no.
Anyways, Cordell Patterson plays a good running back. As much as I'm not the biggest Cordell Patterson fan, I think he plays enough and is versatile enough to keep people on their toes. The defense isn't terrible. Terrell is pretty good, and there's some solid pieces around him.
I think I'm actually going to give it to the Falcons. I think this is going to be ones that Johnny's going to watch, and he's going to send us a message in the group chat saying, "I quit. I'm done. I hate this team." I could actually see that being the case, where this could be the game that the Falcons aren't expected to win much of anything, but they're going to do something.
So help me God.
You won't be happy about it, but I actually kind of agree here. Week 4, Falcons at home versus the Browns. I'm saying Nick Chubb just does his thing.
Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Dearness Johnson.
I think overall
Not
that
much.
team is
Not. I mean,
just much
can't
better.
forget Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I think overall the roster is much better for the Browns. Even without Deshaun Watson or Baker Mayfield. That's still.
I mean, Jacoby Brissett was still somebody who was holding it down.
Jacoby Brissett's not completely
Awful.
bad. I mean, like I said, I still think he's deservedly the third string of out of those 3, but I don't think he's gonna be that awful. You know, he's still gonna be decent enough for what he needs to do. Then week 5, we already have the Bucks beating the Falcons, and then in week 6, we have the Falcons at home versus the Niners. This could be a surprise. This could be a bit of a surprise game, but I'm not sure. Like, this is one that on paper you think 49ers should take it.
They are gonna take it. They're just a little bit better. I mean, well, not entirely better, but they have better talent. Not just that. I mean, you got Fred Warner, who's probably the second best linebacker in all of football. And then, not even that, you got Nick Bosa. That defensive line is still pretty stout. And you have arguably one of the better offensive lines. That team is going to do some damage.
Yeah. Then what are you thinking?
I am thinking that the 49ers are going to take it. The 49ers are just, they're better.
Okay, that's fair. I don't know, it's one of those things I've got this feeling of a bit of a trap game, but I don't know. Week 7, Falcons on the road versus the Bengals. I mean, this shouldn't even be that hard here. This should be an ass beating and a half here.
Yeah.
Then of course we discussed it earlier. Week 8, at home versus the Panthers. I think they split like we said. Week 9, they are at home versus the Chargers coming off bye. It's Chargers. Once again, this is just going to be one of those games that Justin Herbert should throw for like 5 touchdowns.
Oh yeah.
And if not,
Easily.
and if he isn't the guy, then Eckler should put in some serious work. At least that's how it should go.
Eckler.
That's how it should go. Then we already discussed week 10. Week 11, Falcons at home versus the Bears. I do think I'm leaning Falcons here. As Tim mentioned earlier,
For this one.
As Tim mentioned earlier, I think that the Falcons are slightly above the tier where the Bears are right now.
I mean, yeah, the
Falcons
Bears
will be
are fucking
better than
ass.
the Bears.
Falcons are better than the Commanders too. I'd like to put that out there. Falcons
Huh.
over the Commanders, the Texans, the
Well,
Jaguars.
it's funny you say
Fuck
that
you,
because
Tim.
we had the Commanders beating the Falcons.
I know. I was against that.
I don't know. It's one of those ones. I feel like it's gonna be a weird year for both of these teams. I mean, we got a lot of disrespect over the fact that we were disrespecting Carson Wentz, but you are not going to convince me that Carson Wentz is a good enough quarterback.
He
You
is
can't.
good enough. He was an injury away from becoming MVP of the league a couple years ago.
And then fell apart since then.
But it isn't the end of the world.
haven't-
There's always room for improvement. I could see him going back to his former self,
I personally just can't.
especially in a really weak NFC East.
Call me a Carson Wentz hater. I'll accept it. I don't think he's going to be much of anything, but that's just me. Let me be proven wrong. I mean, I've still got the Stingley take to wait a few years to figure out how that goes. Then week 13, Falcons at home versus the Steelers. I think the Steelers take it, but there's definitely bias there.
Nah, this is just the Steelers are still a better team overall than the Falcons.
Are we all in agreement here?
Yeah.
All right. Then they go into the bye week. I think they tie in the bye week. If we get our first ever bye week tie. We already discussed, so we think the Saints take the Falcons in week 15. Week 16, Falcons on the road versus the Ravens. Should be the Ravens.
Easy.
Week 17.
Even though it's
Falcons.
Cliff Kingsbury, the Cardinals are still going to win because they're a better team.
Yeah.
The Cardinals have made improvements. I think this should be the Cardinals. Though, I'll put it out there. It really would not surprise me if the Cardinals lost this game because they don't do well at the end of the year. It's almost becoming it's almost becoming an unfortunate statistic for them that they just don't do anything late in the season. But with that puts the Falcons at 3-14. I mean, I know Tim's probably not too pleased about it. Because I wouldn't say we're hating on the Falcons, but we're not putting much stock in them. I don't know. It's a tough schedule, and then you're adding on the fact that the team is just... It's in an interesting spot. I mean, personally, I do think if they were to pull Marcus Mariota or if he was to get injured, I do think Desmond Ridder coming in could be a pretty solid improvement. I don't know. It's the issue we have with this whole rookie class. We don't have what we had last year, where we could kind of look, even though it didn't turn out well for most. We can't really look at any specific rookie quarterback and go, they should just be great off start.
Yeah.
I mean, last year it turned out to be Mac Jones, who pretty much plugged in and was pretty damn solid. I mean, this year it could be Pickett, but I don't know. I want to believe it's Pickett because I'm a Steelers fan, but
I can say there's a lot of
I
bias.
don't know. Oh yeah, there's some bias in there. I really want Pickett to succeed because God knows we need it. But I don't know. This is one of those years that any of the rookie QBs could all be bad for all we know. But I guess that goes for every year. But I would say the floor for the Falcons is probably 2 wins. I don't see them being
I think their floor
completely
could
down
be
there.
5.
Well, we have them at 3.
I know, but still, like,
I think their ceiling is
we
somewhere.
could possibly underestimate them.
I think we
also,
are slightly underestimating. I won't deny that.
I believe I heard a rumor. I don't know like how far this rumor goes, but apparently they're supposed to cut Deion Jones eventually.
I think they were talking about it for cap reasons. I don't think they're going to do it though. Or at least I haven't heard it as of late that they're gonna do it. But the big thing here that like I think a lot of people had to understand is the Falcons are playing 12 teams that finished with a record over 500 last year.
Mm-hmm.
No matter who you are, that's a tough schedule to go out and have a winning record after playing through that.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, you see it versus teams that were under 500 or at 500. We have them 3-2. Like, they're not that bad per se. Like, they're not great, but they're playing a schedule with a lot of tough teams. Is the problem?
Yeah, they're playing it with the Browns. You know.
Yeah. Like they've got such a tough schedule, but not a team that's ready for an insanely tough schedule. But with that, that's the end of the NFC South. Next week it'll either be the AFC North or AFC West. I haven't decided yet. But with that, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like and subscribe, all that stuff. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
See ya.